Get your ass back to Mars. That's my favorite line in Total Recall. Hey, everybody. Rex Bear, Leak Project. How the heck are you? We have Thomas Jensen with us today. And man, we've got some really cool slides and images from like the HiRISE, from the Mars Rover, and other various spacecraft that NASA and JPL, I think, has sent out to probe Mars. And wow, these images are incredible. One of the first images that we're going to look at is actually referred to as the M18, and it looks a lot like a flying saucer that crash landed on Mars. So we're going to talk about it. But before we get into this, I want to get to know you a little bit better, Thomas. Like, what's your story, man?
I started, hi, by the way, and thank you for having me here, Rex. I started like 15 years ago looking at Mars images, Mars satellite images from the Mars Global Surveyor. It's the same satellite who took this picture here. And it caught my interest because I had this thing about satellite images. I have to sit and look carefully through them. And I got interested in Mars and the moon and how to do satellite research on it. And I started repeatedly going through satellite image after satellite image after satellite image, and ended up after a few years I have generated a lot of friends with the same interest for anomaly hunting. And one of them was the founder of Lunar Anomaly Research Society. His name is Brett Colling Shepard. He's a good friend. He sent me this picture and said, "What do you think about that?" And when he sent me that picture, I have just started a Mars group and started doing some Mars research on the satellites. And he thought this would be a good start for me to start digging into that. And I had never seen that image before, so I was kind of like, wow, this was one of my first satellite images where I had the whole satellite strip and could actually go in and find that anomaly on the picture and zoom in on it, enlarge it so much so you could see it clearly. So that was a fantastic feeling, and that was how it got me started, the M18 anomaly. And there's a funny story to it because I posted a YouTube video on it, and it got around on YouTube, and some channels got it also, and they dubbed it the Jupiter 2 UFO. So people have probably heard about the Jupiter 2 UFO on Mars. That's the M18 anomaly that Brett Colling Shepard found back in 2005 or 6. The picture we are looking at is from 2000, so it's an old picture. It's not a new picture. And as I said, it was taken with the Mars Global Surveyor satellite with the Mars Orbiter camera on board that could take the pictures all the way down to a resolution of 1.5 meter per pixel, which is really, really good. The picture we're looking at here is taken with a resolution of 2 meter per pixel, and having good atmospheric conditions, visually, you can get a picture like this, and this is what we are looking at here. That's an amazing anomaly. What do you think, Rex?
I think it's pretty dang cool. And I want to let people know real quick, because what we're doing now, folks, is this new stream where when we do our live streams, we live stream in vertical and horizontal. So if you're watching on your phone, you can watch it in vertical. And if you're watching on your TV or your big screen or your computer, you can watch it in horizontal. That's why you're getting the notifications on the two streams. And if you're watching it in vertical and you want to watch it in horizontal, just jump on over to the horizontal, or vice versa. So appreciate the comment on that, folks. And also, you may want to watch this on the horizontal just because you're going to get a much better resolution and imaging with these potential artifacts or technological pieces that we're looking at, like potentially a spaceship here. I mean, it looks like a spaceship, man. It really does. And, you know, I mean, I'm not 100% convinced, but I'll definitely give it. If you show me that is a spaceship, I'm going to say, yeah, it looks like a spaceship. I'm just not there and I can't touch it, but it looks pretty cool. No. And I think that we should be showing this to people too, because it's certainly, it stands out. It doesn't look like the rest of the environment. It doesn't look like the background. It looks circular. It looks technological. Maybe you could even zoom in on that a little bit more.
I can't zoom in on this. I'm using the what you call it, the presentation software.
Okay.
DS.
Okay.
That's the best I can do now.
Why do they call it the Jupiter 2? Like, what's the...
That was the about the Jupiter 2. That was the old movie from the 70s that had the Jupiter 2 in it, where they took off in that spacecraft. It's actually from just a generation before me, so I haven't seen it myself. And I think the movies we had in Denmark were different from America and England, so I only heard about the Jupiter 2 UFO. I never seen the actual movie about this.
Okay.
But there are some more data that is important to get when we're talking about these anomalies. Yes, it does look like a big UFO. I don't think it is a UFO. When you measure the size of it, now this one is about 148.5 meters wide. That's about 484.56 feet wide. That's huge. A skyscraper has to be 150 meters to be determined as a skyscraper. This is just as wide as a skyscraper. I will make a comparison. You got it right there. It was on the next slide. This building is 150 meters tall. It's just as tall as this anomaly is wide. So imagine taking a round disc-shaped object, leaning it up against this house. Then you can actually get a feeling of how big it is, how huge it is. It's gigantic. Another comparison, you see on the left side, you see this White House. That's of course on planet Earth. It's about 35 meters wide. And again, the anomaly to the right is 148, just about 150 meters wide. So I have made, for those that have glasses on, I have a good sight. I have added the little White House over to the right in the circle, so you can see the size compared to the anomaly. And you have the skyscraper on the right side of the anomaly to compare the size with also. So this gives you a feeling of how big this is. So I think this is not a spaceship. I don't think it's a spaceship as such. I do believe that there are spaceships, and I do believe they are on Mars, but I don't think this is one, even though it's one of the best evidence of a possibly could be a spaceship on Mars. I don't think it is. I think it's part of something bigger that is underground. A spaceship would usually take off again. It wouldn't be stationary. And this is where I want to jump to the next picture. This is called MRO.
Real quick, if I can, Thomas. So you think it's most likely a structure then?
I think it's more likely a structure. Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense.
We are only seeing the top of the surface, the very tiny little top of the surface. But before I go to the next picture again, I want to say that I had a good friend that worked actually at the JPL laboratory, where they had the download from Mars Global Surveyor that comes with these pictures. And he knew everything. He sat and worked with the download link. I texted him after seeing it and sent him the picture and said, well, what do you think about this? I thought I could get him, make him say, wow, where's that from? And because I knew this picture has been through his way. He might not necessarily have worked with this picture. There are thousands of pictures, but he might have heard about it or seen it. And the first thing he texts me back is, oh no, please don't do that one again like the others. It's just going to make you look like a fool. It's an error. And I'm like, an error? And I actually believed him first as it was an error, because when you're trying to convince people about something and use the right psychology, you can actually make them think about what you're saying. So I sat there and I actually at one point saw it as an error, and then again I looked at it a few days later and thought, no way, this ain't no error. So I decided to find out where I could find more pictures of it. So I went into Google Earth, the Mars version, where you can get an overview of where all the satellite images are. There were another satellite image. It's here. It might, let me see if I got it in full screen. It's not the same quality. The resolution of this one is just about 4.5 meters, if I remember correct. So it's half the quality of the picture we just saw before. But the anomaly is there, and you can just see it, and you can just see them two black frames that some people would call windows. I will call them openings. You can just see it, and that was a wow effect, because that moment I could prove that this guy from JPL was lying to me. That was not an error on the lens, and he was trying to talk me out of starting digging deeper into it or sharing it around by telling me that I would just be a fool. I was, that was like 10 years ago. I was younger than I am now. So I think I was a little bit more easily affected by people, and especially in that environment. He worked for the JPL and NASA. So he affected me. He made me believe for a second that it was an error, but I proved him wrong, that it wasn't. So you can see it here on the picture that's taken 1 year before the other picture, the good picture. And that's a wow effect, to be able to find the same anomaly again. I can see that it is the same anomaly on exactly the same spots, which also tells me that it's probably not a UFO then, unless it has crashed or don't work anymore. Then it would probably have been removed. I don't think it's a UFO. It makes more sense to me that believe it's a part of a larger structure where we only see the top of this structure. What does it sound logical to you?
It does. Yeah, like I said, I think it would make a lot more sense if this anomaly that we're looking at is an anomaly. And it clearly looks like it. It would make a lot more sense that it would be a structure. And there's structures similar to that on Earth. I mean, like the one you showed in the last image. And folks, if you're just joining us, we've got Thomas with us today, and he has done an incredible job with SpaceLink TV in analyzing some of these potential anomalies that definitely need another set of eyes to look at. And he's had people directly from JPL tell him that it was just a glitch. It was just a glitch. Well, he's got a separate image from a year prior that's showing that same anomaly. It just doesn't have quite the detail as the newer image because it's got better resolution. So can we jump back to that image just one more time? And I want to show. So this image right here, it's called the M18, the M18 anomaly. Is that what you refer to it as?
The M18 anomaly, yeah.
Okay. And so that's what he was showing, is he was comparing the two images. And you can see this, it looks like a UFO, but if anything, it could very well be a structure, which is just as amazing. We're looking at a potential structure on Mars that is huge. This thing is massive.
It is. It's when you understand the size of it, I get excited. Like I get this wow effect. Now I'm sitting and talking to you, I still get this wow effect when I realize how big this structure actually is, and talking about it, it gives some kind of wow effect. It's simply amazing. But again, the two pictures you have seen, this one and this one, they're taken with the same satellite, with the same camera, and you can really see how dependent we are on good conditions, weather conditions, circumstances, angles to get a good picture. The difference in the quality between the M04 and the M18 picture is astonishing to say it at least. So the M04 is really, really bad quality, but it's just good enough so we can see the anomaly sitting there on the cliff and looking out over where there used to be water before. So that's quite a satisfying picture to look at.
Yeah.
But we were looking at Mars Global Surveyor images. So I've also been asked by people, what about the reconnaissance orbiter and the HiRISE? Don't we have a high resolution, 25 centimeter per pixel image of the area? There is no HiRISE picture over that exact area. The HiRISE camera on the Mars reconnaissance orbiter takes very compact and big pictures in a high resolution, but the areas are small. Like when we're looking at the Mars Global Surveyor, the picture we saw before is a narrow angle strip, is called. The HiRISE is a little bit of the same. They take long slides and a little bit wider than the Mars Global Surveyor did. But when they have other cameras like the CTX context camera, that's becoming interesting, because the context camera, that's the one we are looking at here, it takes wide angle pictures, and that's the images you're looking at when you're zooming into Google Mars. And if you have set your surface to be CTX mosaic pictures, these are the satellite images you would be scrolling over when you go around on Google Mars. That's pretty cool. But again, you see the difference in the quality. This is from the new satellite with high resolution, new equipment on board. And yet this picture is less than 8 meters per pixel, because the CTX camera is designed to take huge size picture to cover a whole globe and not take like high resolution in depth. And this is where people are getting tricked when they're looking at CTX images and think they have found something, because look at the quality. This is the quality. We are looking at a CTX image now of the same anomaly, the M18 anomaly. And you can't even compare the two pictures with each other in quality wise. But again, this is the third image from another satellite that confirms that the anomaly is actually there. It's visual, and you can see it with your own eyes when you are looking at it. There is something there, and it's right where our anomaly was on the other pictures from the Mars Global Surveyor. So this is amazing to find it again. But again, it's a context image, so you can't really use it for anything else than nice postcards or stuff like that. Context images are not made for anomaly hunting or surface research in any kind of way. That's something that has been created to make Google Mars, I believe. The M18 anomaly, I've also been asked, how did you measure it? And we know the exact size of the picture. As I said before, it was a narrow angle strip we were looking at from the Mars Global Surveyor. This is the narrow angle strip. It's just chopped, so you only see that little part. But we know that this strip is 2.97 kilometers wide. So by dividing the picture into units in wide, you can measure how wide this anomaly is, and it's just about 148.5, 149 meters wide, according to the data from NASA that they have given us about the size of the picture. So it's interesting to see an anomaly that size. This is one of my first renderings back from 2000, and it's gonna have been 10, 11. I made this one, I think. And again, with the first software I had, we learn every day and we learn to make things better. But I wanted to have this rendering of the M18 anomaly. 2014, it even says on the picture, with us today also. So, but Rex, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have heard about the Enki's tablets.
The Enki's tablets?
Yeah.
Are you like the ancient Babylonian stuff, the Sumerian?
Yeah. Have you heard about
I've read a bunch of
fifth tablet? Yeah. There is a text in that tablet describing, I got it right here, Anu on his journey to Mars and how they descended on the top of a cliff with the view over the sea or the lake. And it fits pretty well with this anomaly that is here. Not saying it is, but I thought I would add it to my visuals, the story of Enki's fourth tablet.
Cool.
Yeah, this is cool stuff when you read about it and you can put some pictures to it.
It reminds me of a billionaire's lair, like not Elon Musk, but Rocket Man, or the what's his name that played the Iron Man? Man.
Yeah. Tony Stark.
Tony Stark. Yeah. Tony Stark's lair up there.
So yeah, but I have had a lot of response on it, and I have been posting this picture for 10 years now. So I heard it all, and funny enough, people keep staying with the UFO theory on it because that's what their brains are telling them when they're trying to comprehend a picture from Mars like this.
Sure.
And one of the things that also is interesting about the M18 picture is that it's taken on a slant, not straight up and straight, not from straight up and down, but on a slant, so which makes it able to see dimensions and shadow sides of walls and so on, which is what makes this picture possible to exist. You see what I mean? I have to translate. Did I say I'm from Denmark? So I have to find some of the words sometimes when I speak about the pictures.
Oh, you sound great, man.
Yeah. But it is an amazing anomaly, the M18. It's been going around for years now, and it still is. And I hope one day that everybody will see it and see that there is something up there. And I hope that everybody will ask the question, what is that?
I wonder if they're still there, if it is a building and structure.
See, the last picture here is from 2011, and there is one from 2016 also, which basically is almost exactly identical to this one here. So we know it's there in 2016. That's the last I have seen, but I haven't looked beyond 2016 up till now, either on the CTX catalog, because the CTX catalog is huge. It's like you can study it for a whole lifetime and you maybe have seen 1% of what it contains. So it's something that is really, really time consuming to do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I used to spend hours searching the Google Mars, looking at the satellite images that were uploaded, and there's a lot of very fascinating anomalies.
Yeah, there are, and let me take you back to the start here, because I got another good one. I don't know how much time do we have.
We got plenty, man. Please show us. Yeah, show us the goods.
Let me see. Because I am speaking at a conference in England in 2 weeks, the 11th of December. I think it is the 12th of December I'm speaking.
Great. Okay. Tell us about that.
And I will be presenting some of the pictures, and this is actually from my presentation. So I ain't obviously not going to show you my whole presentation. People have to come to Pews in England to see that.
Sure.
So I want to jump a little bit into the history first before we go to this picture here that you probably have seen before, of the so-called ancient walls on Mars. This is William Whitecrow. His real name is Bill Parris. He was an old friend of mine, and he has been CIA security guard basically all of his life. He was born on a military base, and he basically almost died very close to one also, if you could say so. But William claimed to have proof of one of them crafts that were used back in the 18th and 90s on the so-called secret CIA projects, secret space projects. And he had claimed for a long time that he has been working on one of the projects as a security guide to take care of the crew and be with them and make sure that got there safe and back safe. And he has been talking about this craft that they went to Mars in, where there were underground bases. Now, when I met William and he told me all this, I was thinking, yeah, right. Yeah, I'm just listening, smiling, and say, yeah. But the longer I got to know William, to learn, the more he told me, and the more it all made sense to me what he told, and I actually realized that it wasn't bullshit. It was very, very real. And he claimed to have proof of this craft that he would show me one day. But what he also claimed was when they came to Mars in that craft, they descended into a square formation on the surface down into the underground, where they could continue into a hangar and come into the underground Mars. This is how he described it, because William was working on the Mars jump room project. And as you know, the jump room ain't about flying in spacecraft to Mars. It's about being teleported to Mars. So at the time, it didn't make sense. But as he also told me, there was things you couldn't teleport. You could teleport biological material. There were non-biological materials that they needed up there. You couldn't teleport. So they had this craft that CIA had worked on since the 50s, 60s. And the craft he was on was the second generation. He said it could carry up to 30 people with a 15-people crew on board. It's interesting, but the point is, and I know when I start talking about William, I can talk for hours. The point is that he described to me how they descended into that square formation on the Martian surface and down into the underground. And he said he could prove the entrances, but he was afraid, of course, of being taken care of or being silenced. But one day, William sent me some coordinates to Google Mars. I went in, and the first thing I saw when I found it was this. And again, we are back, sorry, to what I talked about before with CTX images. CTX images are for an aerial overview, not for anomaly hunting. But I found this one on the CTX image. And I was thinking, was it looked kind of like a square, just like William said, they descended into a square and from that into the underground. And I'm like, is he complete out of it or what? But I found that one. And then I realized when I got into the JP2 catalog of high resolution images from the HiRISE camera and not the CTX camera, that this is what he was talking about. The square they descended into to the underground Mars. So William have proved to me, and not necessarily to anybody else, but to me, he have proved that what he told me has been true all the way. The thing about William was that he spoke a lot about that craft. And he told me that he would disclose it in an interview with me. And he told me that he would sign off from everything else and he would go up to his cabin for a few months after the interview. And I didn't understood how serious it actually was. I was just doing my YouTube videos and Mars research, and I loved it. But when we had this interview with William, he didn't show up. That was weird because William has always kept his words. And me and my wife at the time, we got a little bit worried, and we looked up, started looking at Facebook to see if he written anything. And we found that message from his wife that he had just been killed, shot in the head, 3 hours before the interview with me, where he wanted to disclose this craft. And I believe, it's my belief, that he has visual proof of it. That means pictures or videos of it. That's my belief. And that was what he wanted to show me. The police came and said it was a suicide. It was suicide, but again, he was shot with a big shotgun. He couldn't even point it at himself in that direction and reach the trigger. So it's kind of like we always think we knew what happened there, and that was a wake-up call. That to me proved that all the things he said, that he was scared of somebody getting to him because of the information he had about the craft that they were traveling in to Mars, because it was all CIA-based stuff, research. They were the funding source of it all. And then you know much more than we as collective humans ever will be told about what's going on Mars. And that was what William wanted to tell about and make disclosure on. And that was one of the reasons he chose to send me the coordinates to this area, because who else could he send it to? I was the only one who understood, not the only one, well, one of the few that understood coordinates and how to find satellite images and how to find the high resolution of the same areas and find what they are looking for. That's what I've been doing.
Sorry, Thomas, let me just ask a quick question, and I'm not trying to sound in any way, shape, or form like disrespectful.
No.
Did you guys confirm? Like, did you guys confirm that happened to him, or did you just?
Yeah. It was confirmed. I had another friend that also had worked for the CIA back then, that had somehow, some way got the death report, and it turns out that even the CIA had made a report about his death that was suicide. And I'm like, if it was a normal suicide, why on earth would CIA come and make what I think is called a death report? That's the English word. Why on earth would they come all the way out there to make a report like that when it's something the police would have done easily? You know, there's something rotten about it, really rotten about it.
Huh. Yeah. Now, was there a police report also?
I think there was. Yeah, I only saw the CIA one.
I'm just wondering, like, how would you get a chance to see a CIA report?
I could. Yeah, that's a question. Now I have to think before I answer.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, because I've worked with a lot of people, and one of the people I've worked with was sorry, Andrew DiBasciago, that was running for president in 2016 and 2020. And he was also a former, he was in the Project Pegasus and Project Mars jump room. He was verified also that he was doing this work for CIA back in the days on them secret projects. I don't want to talk about Project Pegasus, but I like to talk about the Mars jump room project, because after all these people has been through my life, I know a lot of things about them projects. But Andrew said that he had seen the report, and the CIA had said that it was a suicide. He was also the one that emphasized that he did not understand either why the CIA all was involved in that. or made that statement they could just have backed out. I mean, that's like saying, yeah, there's something suspicious here, and we are here now. You know, I would just have stayed out, made it silence, but that was how.
Okay.
But yeah,
appreciate that. Yeah, thanks. I was just questions that were coming into my mind as you were talking. Much appreciated. Because I've heard about Project Pegasus and the jump rooms, and the gentleman you're talking about. He's kind of been a whistleblower, I would say, since the 2000s, early 2000s, hasn't he?
Yeah, 90s. Andrew. But when there was another man in that project called Bernard Mendes that worked for, it must have been the Bush White House in the early 80s. That would have been George Bush back then.
Early 80s would have been Reagan, and Bush would have been vice president.
Okay, so it's probably it
early 90s was when Bush.
Yeah. I have so much information and I can't remember it all, but he came and said that the president had ordered him to investigate Mars jump room because the president wanted an update on how far they had come with it. And Bernard Mendes was appointed to find out and dig into it because nobody wanted to tell the president. So Bernard Mendes got the information the president wanted, gave it to the president and said, yeah, this is what's going on. This is how far they got. This is the people involved. And Bernard Mendes also went live in 2012 together with Andrew Di Basiago and confirmed the existence of the same project and confirmed the people involved in these projects. So he was appointed by the president to find this information and give the president the information he found about Project Mars jump room. That was what Bernard Mendes did. But Bernard Mendes also says that he don't believe that the Mars jump room was in real life, real time. He believed it was some kind of simulation. And to that, I don't agree in any kind of way. So I think Bernard Mendes made what was, I would call it, a soft disclosure. He told a little bit, but he also twisted the rest a little bit so people can comprehend the facts. When they start talking about quantum synthetic, I can't even pronounce it, realities, people starts to back out. Normal people wouldn't have a chance to understand what they're talking about. And I think that was what they did. That confirmed some of the names and the existence of the project, and then they came out and make it hard for normal people to understand the rest. So they're not interested in listening. One of the people, this is interesting, that was involved in that was also confirmed by Bernard Mendes was Regina E. Jugan. Do you know who she is?
What's the name again?
Regina E. Jugan. I might pronounce it wrong, sorry.
I don't. I'm not familiar with her.
She is the former director of DARPA. DARPA. Do you know what DARPA is?
Oh yeah, the Defense Advanced Research Projects.
Exactly. And she was confirmed as one of the involved in the Mars jump room by Bernard Mendes, together with Andrew Di Basiago or William Stillings, that also was one of the guys, one of the men involved. So it's becoming interesting with these people that was mentioned in 2012. Obama, we all heard the stories about Obama being on Mars, still denies to that day today that he ever have ventured outside Earth's atmosphere. But he is listed as one of the participants in there. And I'm not surprised with the projects back in the 80s and 90s that if Obama turns out to have been a part of it as the other participants claim today. But it's interesting.
It is interesting. When I heard that Obama was a part of the jump rooms, that made me question things even more. Like, you know, like that. This sounds so crazy that it could be true almost. Wow. I wouldn't be surprised either way. I wouldn't be surprised. You know, I want to.
I met up with Andrew in 2016, and we had some conversations about the Mars jump room at the hotel there, and he told a lot of interesting stuff about the Mars jump room. One of the other things that he also spoke a little bit about was the Dulce base. When he, as a kid, was taken there with his father, that was working for the CIA also, he didn't know what they were doing there. He was taken into this Dulce base, this underground base, and he described the base as huge underground base, but totally empty, not a sign of life or anything at all in there, nothing, totally, everything was empty. There were elevator shafts, they were working and functioning, but everything was empty. And that has been, I think he said, about 68, 69 in that year. So that's also interesting to hear about some of all the other things that goes on, like the Dulce base and stuff like that.
I'm only an hour from Dulce. So I've been to that area many times. I've searched the Arch La Mesa pretty extensively, and I won't go back there because of an experience I had. There's definitely something under there, whether or not it's an alien base, I don't know, but I think they're doing some weird experiments there, and I don't want anything to do with it. It's weird.
I think it's leftover from previous civilization that we found in the 40s and 50s, and then we used it and left it, and now it's like kind of being found again in the 19th century later.
Retrofitted into some secret pharmaceutical projects, potentially.
Something like that, yeah.
Of course not. They would never do that. They love us. Wow. Okay. You know, but interesting character, man. I've almost got him on the show once, and then something happened. It was several years ago. I'm glad you've had a chance to talk with him because he's definitely been on my radar for years now.
I used to work for him.
I've noticed.
With his Facebook group and stuff like that. I was invited in to help him out. And we had a lot of conversation, and that was actually at the time where we had these porn spam on Facebook constantly, and groups were closed if you didn't remove it, and if you didn't see what people had posted in your group, they would be closed by Facebook. So Andrew was really attacked by these scammers or spammers constantly, and we had to sit and find one who added this guy and who added the guy that added the guy, and then sit and go back. And I remember the one day I went about 122 people back in one line of scammers, just sitting and finding who added that guy. Okay, we're going to remove that guy now, and then who added the guy that added that guy. And it gave us like a thread all the way back to 122, 123 people in one go. So that was kind of like, wow, we got some of them. But yeah, I used to run some of his social media groups as an administrative help assist.
That's cool.
So yeah, I have spoken to him a few times. Yeah,
right on, man.
Yeah.
Mars is. I want to go back to Mars. I'm ready.
Yeah. It was me who flew off. Sorry. Yeah.
No, I meant like I literally want to go back to Mars. I was joking. Like, like sign me up, man. Get me on the spaceship. Let's go. No, this is cool.
I was thinking, because I had this slide up here, as I said, about this giant square formation where you can see this, like you can actually fly into it. That was the one that William was talking about. And when I found that one on the HiRISE image, I was like completely, wow, that's just not true. It's too good to be true. You have it in a close-up here. and that's one of the best existing images of that anomaly. And you have to be blind to not see this square formation and the hole into the ground behind these walls. It's and again, it's about size, because this is not a tiny little object. The M18 anomaly was 148.5 meters wide. That's the measurement I made. This one is 50 centimeters longer. So it's like 149 meters wide. So again, this is 145.5 meters wide. So this is a huge object. It's I believe the pyramids were. Do you remember how wide they are?
Not off the top of my head, but I'll find out.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. Well, I can't remember now, and it wasn't a part of my presentation. It just
the width of the Great Pyramid. The width of the Great Pyramid. The Great Pyramid of Giza has a base that is approximately 756 feet, or 230 meters wide on each side.
Yeah, 230 meters. Yeah. So the pyramid is like 1/3 longer than this one here. So we're up in something big sized when we look at this anomaly. Actually, I added the skyscraper again to make a comparison, and I've added that in the same size as NASA has listed the picture to be pixel-wise. So this is what a skyscraper would look like if it stood next to this anomaly on Mars. Does that give you a better idea of size now?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So again, understand this is not something that just by coincidence a line, then the wind has blown a little sand dune that's 10 meters long and looks like something else. No, this is huge, and things like that in that size don't just appear out of the blue. Let me see how many. I think I ain't got the rest done in here, but I got some more pictures of it from the. I will find that for another good time. But I found some more pictures of this anomaly from the Mars Global Surveyor satellite, the same satellite who took the M18 picture. And what a shame I ain't got it. Why haven't I not got it here? But it shows that the whole area is covered in sand, and only the top here is popping up. Only the top here is visible. So I'll have to find that picture for next time, Rex.
Sure. That's fine, man. Yeah, appreciate it.
Still working on my presentation here and adding to it, but there are other pictures from other satellites of this anomaly. See where we are. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, this is an amazing one. And again, the quality between CTX images and then the quality of a HiRISE. I don't understand why people are using CTX images at all, unless it's for the confirmation of the object and not for the research of the object. But that's the way the world is today.
Yeah.
Man,
that is so cool. You know what? I'm also thinking about, so in 1984, May 22nd, 1984, there was a remote viewing session done on Mars, and the remote viewing session is actually now underneath the CIA.government reading room docs. So I don't know if it was classified for a while, but now it's declassified. It was approved for release actually in the year 2000. So I think it was classified for a while, but it's interesting when it talks about Mars. And the person that remote viewed Mars had no idea that they were remote viewing Mars. You know, like they're a true remote viewing session. You don't know what you're remote viewing.
No.
You go into it blind, and it describes the people that were there, the technology that was there, the megaliths, and it's fascinating. It's absolutely incredible. Matter of fact, let me just pull this up real quick. I've shared this before, but I want to do it again because all the people here might not have seen it. So this is actually, as you can see, directly from the CIA.gov, and that doesn't make it any more truthful. But I think it's interesting in the sense that the CIA was interested in this. The CIA wanted to know what it was, and the CIA was a big part of these remote viewing programs that were taking place in the 80s and the 90s. They were funding some of these projects. They weren't, it wasn't officially CIA, but the CIA was behind the scenes taking the data, and they would have like an analyst there studying what was being done. Like they would have somebody from the CIA actually there facilitating these people that don't have any connection with the CIA when they would do these sessions. And this here is incredible. So the guy remote views Mars, but not only does he remote view Mars, the coordinates that they give him are to Cydonia. If you put in these coordinates, this will take you directly to Cydonia, Mars, which is where the Viking Orbiter picked up those incredible anomalies. And then years later, they come out with computer-generated images of Cydonia region, which show, oh, it's just pareidolia, folks. It's just shadows. Bullshit. Those are structures. Those are absolutely structures. It's very similar to what we would see if we were overlooking Egypt. And even the face looks like a face of a pharaoh.
Yeah, it does. It does.
But this guy remote views Mars, and here's the coordinates. If you put these coordinates in, it'll take you to the Cydonia region, and he sees these megaliths. He sees these very tall beings, and then they have him go a little bit forward, like in time. And then there's this major cataclysm that takes place on Mars. So he's seen these people in basically cryogenic chambers, and he talks to them in this session, and they say that they've got people off planet looking for another place to survive, and they have to wait for them to come back. And then he sees what caused the cataclysm, which was a planet that was acting like a comet, which that totally explains the Valles Marineris. If you study the EU theory of the electric universe cosmology, where it's basically plasma and electricity that caused the thunderbolt of the gods, which created the Valles Marineris. It wasn't from earthquakes. It was from a planetary body that came so close that this electrical discharge literally carved that canyon and obliterated the atmosphere. That's most likely what happened, and that's what these guys saw. That's what Velikovsky even predicted in his Worlds of Collision. So a lot of really interesting information about Mars.
Yeah, absolute. Information is important no matter where you go and what you research you do. So I have I don't know how much time you have.
Oh, we're fine. Yeah. We got plenty of time. So I'm loving this.
I have some older picture here. This is I think I only have that. Yeah. This is also from the same area where the M18 is, from the same picture, just 17 kilometers north of where the M18 is placed. And if you look at the picture in the middle, I've tried to point out what I was seeing, and this is not a very good resolution I have here, unfortunately. But when you're looking at it from above on a slight angle, you're seeing exactly the same as you see if you fly over a living area here on Earth, like big buildings with multiple floors on, interconnected together. It's like, I couldn't really believe it at first, but again, this is an older picture, and there could be other explanations for it. But to me, if you look closely, it looks like some kind of base that has been there for a while. And one of the reasons I think it could be is because it is just a stone throw away from the M18 anomaly, very, very close to that one. And looking at this from above on the Martian surface, it just don't look right. There's something to it. But we have all seen that, I'll call it the magical square, because everybody is talking about that one on Mars now.
I was hoping you were going to show us this.
Yeah, I have to go through them because people misunderstanding sizes on it. And again, as I said, with the M18 anomaly, you can see on the data sheet how wide the image is. In this case, is 3.27 kilometers wide. And in that way, you can take a normal ruler and put it to your screen and measure the exact length and size and dimensions of the anomaly that we're looking at. This is about, let me see, I got the exact numbers. I only have added the numbers of the picture size here, not the anomaly. It'll come. But the size of the area where the square is 2 kilometers in each direction, which is what you can see here. To have it in big screen, I have it in bigger screen. Both with Copenhagen Airport on the right side fitted into the square, and the Giza Plateau on the left side. And I've done that to illustrate the size of what we're looking at, because if you just tell people, oh, that's 1.2 miles or 2 kilometers wide, people will be like, yeah, okay, but they don't understand it, they don't process it. It's just a number they remember that they take out and tell. If people ask how wide is it, it's 2 kilometers wide. They don't have actually an idea of what can be inside 2 times 2 kilometers. That's city-sized. That's really city-sized. You can have the whole Giza Plateau in it, or as on the right side, Copenhagen Airport. That's the size of it. But again, this picture is taken with the old Mars Global Surveyor satellite that is taken with the Mars Orbiter camera on board. And the resolution on this one, I believe it's about 3 to 4 meter per pixel. We're not down to 2 as we were on the M18 picture, but 3 to 4 meter per pixel. It's not bad for the Mars Global Surveyor, but it's not something that gives you a wow effect unless you have an anomaly that's 2 kilometers wide. That's where you can see things clearly. So this has also been taken with the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. Oh, this was another strip, sorry. Where you can see out on the left, I have the full strip. You can see it in full size on the left side. And then I have to enlarge it a little bit at a time until you get the square only, but still in the picture's full width, which was 3.27 kilometers. So again, we can start thinking about size on what we are looking at. Here we go. On the top, we have the Mars Global Surveyor images. That's with the old Mars Orbiter camera. On the bottom left and right, we have Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, but that's taken with the CTX images. And again, CTX images are for overview and not close-up looking. The one on the right side in the bottom is actually what you see on Google Earth when you, in the Mars version, when you find the square on Mars and zoom in on it. And all them yellow boxes you can see, they are satellite strips that are available over the area, and they cover the area they are available over. So you can go in and download the satellite image of that area and then have a closer look at it. As you can see, there are no red boxes on the picture in down right side. That would have been a HiRISE image. Unfortunately, not in that area. We only have the CTX image and the Mars Orbiter camera images, which also is enough, because with the CTX image, we have a confirmation of what we saw or still see on the Mars Global Surveyor image. So it's an interesting anomaly. What could it be? What do you think we are talking about here, Rex?
To me, it looks like a base of a massive structure of some type. A city center, could be a gigantic apartment complex or living quarters or warehouse. Could be something that was built to withstand certain elements and cataclysms. And I mean, it just doesn't look like you're I can be, I'm skeptical on images that I see, but in a healthy way. Like I'm going where the data takes me, because I've seen images from Google Maps before. An example was when I went to this location in the Grand Canyon, because people sent me this image from Google Maps that said, Rex, look, you can see it's a temple. It's a temple in the Grand Canyon. You got to go. And so I went and I found it. It was like finding a needle in a haystack, but I found it, and it was really cool rocks. What it was really cool rocks, and the way that it looked from a satellite, it looked like an entrance to a temple, but it wasn't
sunlight.
Yeah, I mean, just everything was perfect for it, and it made its rounds. I think there was somebody that got 1 million views showing that Google Maps image. When I actually went there, I found it, and I got like 10,000 views, and I got 400,000 amazing subscribers. Where this guy's got 2,000 views, he goes and shows the image of the satellite. He gets 1 million or 2,000 subscribers, gets 1 million views because he's on the happy list in the algorithms. Whatever, like
whatever.
I don't sound upset at all, do I, folks? Anyway, it's cool. I get it, but yeah. So, but when I'm looking at some of these images that you're showing, like this one as an example, and we're looking at the size of it, and we're breaking this down and we're decoding it. It absolutely, to me, looks like something that was a base or a foundation of an incredible structure.
Yeah, it looks like something that needs to be investigated further.
Yeah.
And again, we're talking about the huge anomalies, and when I look for anomalies, I used to love curiosity, opportunity, spirituality. I could sit on it for days, but I kind of felt I have to leave that behind and focus on satellite anomalies, because how do you say it? There were too many people looking at curiosity anomalies. You know what I mean? And it becomes an area of fancy theories thrown all over the internet. So I decided to go with the satellite image and put my focus on them instead of curiosity or perseverance images, because I believe that perseverance and curiosity were sent to them specific places for specific reasons. And one of the reasons was that we are not supposed to see anything. So imagine you be a Martian and you have discovered planet Earth. You want to explore it. There's things up there you don't want to tell the other Martians. What do? You send a rover down and make it land in Sahara Desert. That rover will never show signs of life. That's exactly what they have done with basically all the expeditions. They have all on purpose landed in areas where they know that they're not going to get visuals. And if there are anything visuals, it would be something far away in the distance and not anything near anything you can recognize in front of the cameras. But that's my take on it.
Now, how long have you been researching this particular anomaly?
The square here?
Yeah.
I had it with me, and I remember I presented it in 2016 in Alabama at the Mars conferences there.
Okay.
In 2015, I also had it. So I must have had this image for since 2013, 12, 13. Yeah.
Now, and has anybody been able, have you talked to a geologist that has been able to explain this as a natural?
No. And again, because it's the quality of the picture don't make it possible to enlarge and see details. No matter who you ask them, when you show this picture and they zoom in on it, they will say it's rocks, it's just rocks. Yeah, it might be just rocks, but those rocks are placed carefully there to create, in this case, a big square wall. Don't you think there's a reason for it? No, it's just coincidence, and everything is coincidence. I have a lot of people I can ask about it, and I do talk a lot with. I have a good friend, Neville Thompson, for example. You probably heard his name. He was awarded at Billy Carson's show here last year. Neville Thompson, he's a good friend of mine. We can have long conversations about satellites, strips, and anomalies. And he's also a good hand, a good friend that has helped out with a lot of pictures. Also, he's the man that do all the gigapans you can find on Mars, where you can go in and around. That's Neville Thompson. So he's a good friend to have in the community. So
very cool.
I have another satellite image here. This is interesting because I saw this and that's a few years ago. I said that looks like small roads, canals, or something like that. And it does look like small roads and canals. I was told it was mud cracks. Okay. As soon as somebody tried to tell me it was mud cracks, I was completely aware that it's very likely the opposite, not mud cracks. And then I found this little thingy that I enlarged like a little roundabout, like a little island where all these mud cracks apparently gather together to come perfectly around and distribute around. These are not mud cracks. These are old canals that has been there. What we are looking at, my belief is that we are looking at an old quarry site. When you zoom in on these rocks, I cannot do that on the picture. And when you zoom in on them, you can see many of them are lined up in straight line with same sizes of rock chopped out, ready to take out and distribute. And you can see some places that the rocks are simply missing. So this is a very interesting area, but I don't believe in mud cracks. I believe that something intelligence has been here and worked in this area. And again, this was just a random search on a random satellite image. The fields of Titania. This is the same area. Let me see what I have next here. You can see like on the right side, just under where it says orbiter, you can see there's like this black dark hole into the ground. You can see the shadows playing. You can see the dimensions that you're looking into a hole into the ground. Let me just go to that hole. That's the hole I was talking about. As I also talked about, if you look at some of all the rocks on the surface, you can see many of them are lined up in straight lines, and it looks very well organized. A lot of it doesn't look natural. But look at the bottom of this hole, you see like five something going across the hole. I was told that that was sand dunes from my little friend. Sand dunes. How on earth would sand dunes appear in the bottom of the hole and not just be spread all over the bottom? And this hole is about, I think it was 12 to 15 meters wide and 27 meters long at the bottom, where you see these
looks like a quarry
holes.
To me.
Yeah, it looks like a quarry site, and this is what I said before. I believe this is one of the biggest quarry sites that have been on Mars. This area, Fields of Titan. I've been spent so many hours on gigapans from that area. This is from the same area, just about half a mile south of where we just were. And if you look at the picture that I pointed out, you can see that stone circles. And imagine somebody living there 10,000, 12,000 years ago. The only thing that would be left on the surface would be stones. And I think these stones are a little bit too well arranged in a circle to be coincidence just there, because everything we have seen before on the same gigapan has been straight lines and corners, and then you come to this almost perfect circle seen from the satellite. I think this is, and yeah, it was about 20 meters wide, the circle. Yeah, you see it in the middle of the screen, and all the above the circle, you can see a wide area that's rocks that are all reflecting the sunlight. Just notice how straight lines, how many lines of rock that is not just random or coincidence. It's interesting. It's a really interesting area. On the left side, under where it says Mars, just before Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, a little bit down to the middle, you see another black area. And if you think about it, as I said, I believe this is a stone quarry. Everything here is stone. The whole plane is on one giant rock that they are splitting up step by step by step. My only question is, where are the rocks in that black hole under where it says Mars in the middle of the screen? There's no rocks. And I don't believe that the area was just created or invented and somebody forgot and put rocks in that little square. I believe that somebody removed the rocks that was there, so you see a black surface underneath where the rock was, because it wouldn't make sense. We would have this rocky outcrop cutting and carving, and then there was one area with no rocks in it. It doesn't make sense at all. I don't know what you think about that, Rex.
Man, I need more input on this. This is really interesting. It looks like an area that the geology is like, it looks like it's breaking apart almost. These what you refer to as possibly roads or canals or something like that. I mean, it looks like a giant ice sheet that's breaking apart to me. But it's weird, man. That one we looked at a minute ago did look like a quarry. It looked like some type of mine or something. And I would just love to go out there. So aliens, Martians, if you're listening, I am available. Got to bring me back, or else we'll scare my family if you don't bring me back. But this one, yeah, it looks like a quarry to me.
Yeah, exactly. And this is what it looks like all over on that area. It's amazing, and I can spend hours. You know what?
Sure.
Let me just see once here. Let me close that one. And let me open that one. Let me see if I can take you for a little quick ride.
Sure. Buckle up, Buttercup. Oh, man.
North Valleys. Here we go. I'll take a random click here. I'm just going to zoom out so I know where I am. Yeah. See, this is a satellite strip. This is a huge area. And if you go over here and zoom in, you can see all these that was described as mud cracks. To me, here you have that little island I spoke about before. To me, it looks more like organized transportation paths. If it's full of water or stones or sand or magnets, I don't know. But it looks like, to me, very well organized pathways all the way around the area.
It almost looks like you're zooming in on your hand, too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I know what you mean. See, I need to zoom out a little bit so I can see where I am. I wanted to take you up to the area we just spoke of. But they are huge, these pictures. Even I have my issues finding the same anomalies again. But let me take you down here. This is screaming stone quarry. Look, stone rows. If you can you see my arrow? Is
yes.
It visible? Yeah. You've got stone rows, and after row after row after row. Everywhere you look, and you've got organized stones. You've got square stones. You've got triangular stones. You've got everything in here. And this is what them gigapans are looking like, and this is what I can be sitting and doing for hours and hours and hours. But I wanted to take you to that anomaly before, and I kind of lost a little bit where it went.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah, how big is it?
The picture itself is 5 kilometers wide.
Okay.
So that's a bit. Let me just see there. I'll be down here. So they are huge sized. If I can't find that anomaly, I might have to find a snapshot link, because otherwise I will be scrolling around for hours here trying to find something. Yeah, let me just take my snapshots and see where we are at.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I have your attention, please? We are viewing, for your pleasure, Mars. General Sorrow in the chat says, there's 9 chatters and the rest is CIA. Man, if only we were that important. Only we were that cool. I don't know if I want to be that important. That's a lot of heat.
Yes. Let me see where are we at. I don't think it wants to be found today.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what's going on here. Oh yeah, here's another one. I'm just going to jump to another one while we're at it here. Now look at, I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. We're looking straight down from above. And in the middle, you can see this black area, dark area. That's rock that's been chopped out. And you can see there's a part left that still hasn't been removed from the rest that they have cut out. Can you see the quarry site in it?
I can see, yeah, I can see what you're pointing
Yeah.
at.
And that's kind of like what I find when I go around on this gigapan. I find squares like this when you can see the rocks are directly been cut out with 90 degrees angles and removed. So this is kind of a good one also. You can even see it from far above. But what I'm wondering about is, why can I not find my anomaly? And this snapshot link in the bottom is so small that I can't see it.
You know, I wonder where all the blocks went. Like everything is
Yeah.
Is it underground? Where's it at?
Yes, another black area. You know, you see stones everywhere, and then here, not a tiny little stone. One of them dark areas. So where did all the stones go? But yeah, gigapan hunting can be very time consuming when you get into it and start finding stuff.
It'll hook you. Yeah, it'll hook you big time. It's like you're living in a National Geographic.
It's just screaming quarry site. The way the rocks are chopped, some of them, and lined up. This area over here, it looks like things are lined up, ready to be transported away. You know what I mean? It's like looks organized. Oh, I really can't find my anomaly. I must have lost it completely here. But yeah, this is North Valleys. I think this has been one of the most active areas on Mars. And no matter where you go in in this area,
that
you
big
will
line?
see things.
There's like
Yeah.
a big chunk of it's missing. Go to the left. Go to the left real quick if you would.
Oh yeah, that's a satellite strip. That's a photo. There's a part missing.
So that like either intentional or an accident, but weird how this chunk is missing.
That's the question. Is it intentional or is it like not? See, that's a good question.
They got everything but that.
Yeah, exactly. And we've seen it before.
Weird.
Oh yeah. Now that you've just activated me for another little story here.
Nice.
I was looking for the M18 anomaly on another satellite image from another satellite I haven't really used before. And I found the area, but I couldn't recognize it at all. This satellite should have also high resolution areas on. So I have a little setup. I have two computers, one with satellites and one with music or whatever is going in the background. So I both set up to satellite because I had an overview on one satellite of the area I wanted to find on the new satellite. And when I finally found that area, which took me like 2-3 hours, it's a few days ago, exactly where the M18 anomaly is what you see there, a black bar. And that satellite strip is like 84 kilometers tall. And that black bar is the only black bar in the whole satellite strip. And it's right over the area where the M18 anomaly is. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
very telling.
Amazing. I think that was Mars Express satellite. Yeah, I believe it was. Yeah.
So, what do you think about 3i Atlas?
I have not really thought much about 3i Atlas. What I would notice is if it changes course or speed. That's where I would lift my eyebrows and say we might have to look an extra time. I haven't really followed it and I haven't looked into it. But there is definitely always a possibility that we are being visited from the outside. If they come in something like 3i Atlas or something else that we know what looks like, for example, a spaceship or something fancy that our brains can comprehend, then it might be that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Until it changes course or speed or something extraordinary happens, it's if you hear the scientists with the telescope say they've seen it before, comets breaking up, traveling through space and galaxies, and I think 3i Atlas, there's something there, and I'm not saying it's not alien, but I think it's been hyped up to something that's out of the dimension.
Right on. Yeah. No, I can definitely see that. Absolutely. You know, today is the day that they're actually starting the International Asteroid Warning Network campaign for 3i Atlas. Today is when it starts.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
no, 3i Atlas. I'll stay on Mars. That's what I do best.
Right on, man. Right on. You know, I also want to bring up something very interesting. So as I was showing this a minute ago, let me go back and pull this back up. This guy right here, add the stage. Boom. This came out in 1984 when they did this remote viewing session on Mars. And if Total Recall, the original, I think came out in 1987.
2 seconds. I have to find it here because I still got my screen sharing here.
Okay. Well, I got my screen pulling up on the live stream. So
now I can see it. Yeah.
It's so interesting that 5 years after this remote viewing's done on Mars, and they see these megaliths, they see this pyramid, they see these million-year structures. Then Total Recall comes out. And guess what, folks? In Total Recall, there's a million-year-old pyramid in Total Recall. So where did they get the idea? Did they get the idea from the remote viewing session? I think so.
Maybe, I'm looking forward to hear what the remote viewers will say about Antarctica.
Have you read this?
No, I haven't.
Oh, dude, being a fan of Mars, you have to read this. This is a must read. It's 9 pages and it has so much information that you could say, oh, that's where the Nephilim came from. That's what they're talking about in the Watchers in the Book of Enoch, the 200 that fell from heaven. They didn't fall from heaven. They fell from Mars. They're Martians. I think they colonized our planet. That's my theory, and I'm sticking with it. Camp of Mars, Cairo in Egypt, El Cairo. The native definition of Cairo is Camp of Mars in Egypt.
I heard that.
So
there's definitely a connection. Definitely.
We come in peace.
It's good to see you now. Now I can finally see you. I've been sitting and talking for 1.5 hours. I haven't seen your face yet. So
you haven't been missing much, bro. Hey, what's up, Thomas? So now are you in the military? Are you Coast Guard or I've seen your hat.
Yeah, I am in the Naval Home Guard. I'm undergoing basic education within something called SAR, which is Search and Rescue. So I have chose to be in the Naval Home Guard. We are on a little tiny ship. We can have 25, 30 people on board. And that's it. We are going through the same basic training as the Army does and the Air Force does. We all get the basic training and handling weapons and so on and so on and so on. Shooting and all that jazz. But the work I am aiming at to do is peaceful work like search and rescue. We'll be called out to assist tax authorities on the sea, police on the sea if they have something they need assistance to. There could be big operations where they might need 15 soldiers with machine guns behind them, if I haven't done it yet, and I'm still very close to ending my education here, so I'm looking forward to it. And I am aiming at something called what is it called in English? I have to translate the word, but security guard at the harbor side, where you are patrolling the harbors from these dinghy boats. Where you are like 10 soldiers on board. I have requested to go in on that education after when I'm done with the SAR, so I can build up again and come out and have some good experiences on the sea, meet the other guys. This is not about going to war, and it's not about being in the army. It's about being in the Naval Home Guard, where it's voluntary work. We don't get paid for it. We show up to our practice and our training, and we do go out and assist on the sea, and especially now that we have all these drones. One of my colleagues from another ship, I have to think about it. Yeah, it's been publicized. Yeah, it has been already out in the news. He actually shot at a drone. If he hit it, we don't know, but the drone didn't come down. That's what I've read so far.
It was one of those mystery drones, not your typical hobby drone.
It said that he hit the drone, visible hit, but that's not the same as it's. If you hit a car with a one bullet, the car might still just drive 60 miles an hour, and it takes a while before it stops, if it even stops. It's probably something like that. He have hit it, but not anything vital in it. It can still continue. So it's interesting. It's interesting.
So where are you at again?
I'm in Denmark.
Wow. Oh, there's all sorts of drones out there in Denmark right now.
Yeah, we just I have been on luckily I wasn't called out, but I have just been on 1 week call out duty for drones for assistance on the sea in case need be. We didn't get called out the week we were on duty. Nothing happened. I was hoping a little bit we'll get out now and I get a chance, because I am also doing a little bit of recording for the Naval Home Guard to make some promotion for the Home Guard. Also, I do have SpaceLink TV. I do all types of video work. I have been out flying with the helicopters and recording from inside, see the screens and all the equipment and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. Yeah,
cool.
It's fun. It's a voluntary job that I am not getting paid for. It's all voluntary. So that's worth it all. Absolute.
Well, man, you're getting all sorts of compliments in the comment section, and
you can see it.
Yeah, I think that's great, man. Please keep us posted if you do see anything with those mystery drones or get any new information. Like, please let me know ASAP, because I've been following this.
The only thing I can tell you is what has been publicized already in the news. And I don't think I would be able to know anything beyond that unless somebody tells me directly. And that the chances for that happening they are there, but they're very low, as we are not out very much here in the winter on the sea. Every time people meet, there's always somebody that has experienced something, but you're not allowed to talk about stuff in public. It's a well-known fact we have drones in Denmark. It's a well-known fact that it's been up in the news, and the police and the army and military and air force and naval home guard has been out to try to find out what to do. That's a common fact. We can talk about that and say that, but I can't go into any details because I don't have access to any details, and it will also cost me my future in the Naval Home Guard if I did so.
Oh, okay. So they don't want you talking about stuff that isn't public if you see something.
No. We can all go in and read the news and see what they're writing, and then correlate it with what we know ourselves. But we cannot talk in any kind of way in public unless it's been publicized already.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Yeah. But to be honest, I don't have anything on the drones to tell, because it happens before my call out and after my call out, and all the interesting experiences that were out there, I wasn't there, so I have no clue what other people are talking about inside or outside the Navy. So, yeah.
Well, you're making up for it with these Mars anomalies, man. So I appreciate you, dude. This is so cool, man. Thomas, you're a really cool guy. I'm glad that I finally got to know you, because I think we were going to do an interview a while back and something happened, and I would really like to do a follow-up. So if you want to put some more anomalies together, man, let's do it. And
I am speaking at a conference here in Pusey. It's from the 11th to the 13th of December. In what's it called? It's in Pusey. I forgot the name of the whole. You can find all the information to it on basistv.org. There you can find programs, speakers, and get tickets and stuff to that. So Bouverie Hall, it was called the Bouverie Hall in Pusey. We're speaking in there. There's going to be a lot of people. So yeah, exactly. You got it there, disclosure. And you can see the other speakers there that are coming. We got Brad Olsen is coming. He's speaking a lot of Antarctica. That's probably my favorite that I'm looking forward to hear.
Nice. I just talked to Brad today.
You did? Okay.
Yeah, he's actually he's going to be on the show at the end of December, and we're going to talk about some of the anomalies that he's found out there.
Yeah.
So, folks, if you want to get your tickets, and you do, this is where you get your ticket.
Yeah.
And
basistv.org.
basistv.org. And do you have a website?
I still have my SpaceLinkTV.org, but it hasn't been updated for centuries now. I have a plan that sounds like, exactly. I have a plan that sounds like a little bit of that. I'm going to focus a little bit more next year on SpaceLink TV, because I have been working a lot for Miles Johnson on his Spaces TV. I created a streaming platform for him and put all his video on, just like I did for Billy Carson back in the days. You remember that? That was me who built his whole platform up from scratch.
Oh, cool.
So I've done the same with mice, and I've tried to do it with MRO HiRISE, that are 80 years old UFO investigator, field investigator, 80 years old, I'll tell you. So I decided she needed her own channel, but it didn't go as we expected, unfortunately. But she got a channel now, and we are expanding it like next year. But I will be working less for other people next year and more for myself next year. Oh, thank you, Thomas. You're welcome. There was a comment. That's why. Okay.
Well, Thomas, it's been a real honor to speak with you, and let's do something again soon.
Yeah, let's do that. That's the deal, Rex. Awesome. It's been cool to be here.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, I love it.
Man. And
see you.
And thank you everybody for being here with us. I hope you have a beautiful day. Be excellent to each other and be the change you want to see.
Never a straight answer. Or the other way, yeah.
They would never do that, ever. They always a straight answer. Is it April Fool's? Cool.